The reason why you see the topic, Black Woman Take the Shortcut, I was in fifth grade. And I never forget my teacher, Miss Williams. Miss Williams had us to take like a quiz, or we had an assignment we had to get done. Now, mind you, we did not have AI, we did not have those things, but we did have like calculators. But for whatever the assignment was, she graded my work and she said, Jasmine, don't take shortcuts. But I still was given, I still completed the assignment and I still answered it the way that had to be answered. Now, I understood at that time that she was saying that because the problem, whatever the problem was I was to solve, instead of doing it the way she taught us, my brain was like, the way she's teaching me is challenging. I don't understand it. But the way my brain was rewiring itself to do it made sense, and it relaxed my brain and I had the answer. All right, guys, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing very well. My name is Jazz Ballinger, and I am a woman that believes in empowering other women, also believes in empowering men. However, in this particular series of videos and episodes of videos that I'm going to be presenting to you is for the overworked Black woman who wants to create a life of ease, and the novice mom who happens to be single that is wanting to, needing work from home opportunities, and also wanting to travel abroad. I begin to really be inspired by this territory or niche because it is definitely personal. For the last 12 years, I have been a mom. I've been a mom for 12 years. Prior to being a mom, of course, I'm a woman. I'm a Black woman, and I have worked in the public sector in here in America for, let's see, my first job, my first W-2 job was like at 14 or 15 years old. And even though at about 9 or 10 years old, like I had my own business, I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. You know, I found little ways to make money, whether it's selling chips, drinks, candy, or if it was babysitting. You know, I made sure that, you know, I had a hustle. And as you see in this video, you will learn in the different episodes how I begin to be transparent with you in how I am gradually learning to debunk the word hustle. But anyway, for the time being, because I'm taking you on this journey with me and also helping you to have a embrace ease, you may hear me say words that I am learning to retract from, like hustle. So anyway, yeah, back to me having an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, been a multifaceted individual. I always had a heart to serve and help people, and had this thing about justice and going for the underdog. But to make things a little bit more even relevant, I have been the underdog. I have been the one that needed justice to be advocated, someone to advocate in my corner. And so this is one of the reasons why I am sharing this introductory of a vlog, and that is at almost 40 years old, I can honestly say that parts of me do not feel like the level of labor and work that I have done in America has gotten me far. And I can say with gaining more certificates, getting more knowledge, getting more certifications, and doing schooling, going to college, universities, and even joining networks and social clubs. I can honestly say I have not come to a place where I truly envision myself. In my time of working in corporate America, in my time of working in dynamics of education, one of the patterns that I discovered in my work is that I had to be in a position where I can be hyper focused, but then also be able to move around in my work. So jobs that were, whether it was cosmetology, I could move around. I wasn't just stationed in one spot all the time. If it was teaching, dynamics of getting up, standing up, sitting down, helping the students, and also being able to work, or should I say, being able to get levels of that executive function, so dynamics of administration aspect of teaching, I enjoy. But then also, when it comes down to the unpredictability of a workflow, I happen to thrive in that type of territory. Excuse me. I just had some coffee, pardon me. I happen to thrive in that level of territory. So when it came down to residential properties or commercial real estate, I kind of thrive in those territories, or retail, customer service. I even served in dynamics of entertainment, so singing and writing songs, and even working behind the scenes as a media personality, interviewing people on the red carpets or events, doing newspaper articles, anything that allowed my brain to be stimulated, but not allowing myself to be just stuck in one cubicle, one place at a desk all day, not being able to move around. It's truly the jobs I've tried to take. But here's the kicker. The reality is I have an entrepreneurial spirit, so I don't like to be micromanaged. It has to be not necessarily my way or the highway, but if you're an atypical type person, or if you're a person that is dogmatic, you would probably say my way or the highway. Because honestly, I don't mind being in a team, and I like working in cohorts and collaborating with the liberty of being able to have some level of independence. So yeah, I have been able to work in those different industries. And when the time came for me to be a mom, I've had to, of course, I know how can I say? It's so many things I'm trying to say at the same time, so bear with me. And if you are watching this, by the way, let me pause for a moment because I'm all the way in here. Did you happen to click the subscribe? I'm wanting to make sure that we are connected because I have some things coming up. So would you do me that favor? You have to come on here and you have to click subscribe. You have to like the video, and you do have to say kind things, kind words, kind things, because this is about empowering the Black woman, sometimes the Black man that may pop on here, but particularly the Black woman and the Black mom who is really needing to know that they are not alone, and that there is a community of other Black women that are here to support them in their journey of creating a life of ease. Okay, so back to where we were. So yeah, so I've in my time of being a mom in 12 years, I've learned having to juggle learning a personality, learning peak children, and learning their strengths and areas where they need a bit more nurturing and encouragement. Being able to have steady income has always been a wrestle. So also with me being a spiritual leader or a kingdom-minded leader in the kingdom of God, some of my inspiration and instructions have been based off scripture and Holy Spirit leading me. So there was a time in my 12 years, I would say that about the third year or fourth year of parenting, Holy Spirit was really on me about getting into, even more so into picking up my business and being a bit more a work from home, stay at home mom. And at the time, I did not have the mental understanding and knowledge like I do now, where I had the confidence to say, okay, we're just going to do it. I still put myself in a position to put my child in childcare or have my father and mother babysit them when they could, or my son would go with his father, and I would go to work. But then there came a point, when the baby gets sick, or if he gets sick from school, then who's going to care for him? With me having a background of working in education and seeing the things that I've seen in early childhood on up to K through 12, I knew that the public school system, to a degree, whether you agree with me or not, to some degree, it is corrupt. And I will not get into very good in detail of why I say corrupt as the word, but I went to public school system and I was able to learn and grow. But I will say, and I turned out pretty old fine, but I will also say as time has moved forward and as things have changed, my experience of school in the 90s, late 80s, 90s is not the same in, in 2000s, 2012. I personally believe a lot of things really began to change for in education in the last 15, 20 years. And so having that awareness by being in the classroom and learning the different focuses that the districts have and the curriculums, the way they're created and suggested, and how they are marginalized, and it's so much that I just did not want my child to be in the school system. But here I am. I put him in the school system, and I put my other children in the school system. And off and on, I would get that little notion like, no, like to trust God and to just go full force as an entrepreneur. So moving forward, after having one child, then God blessed me with two more out of one pregnancy. So I had twins. And so when my twins were born, there was a very tumultuous time. And that time and space really required me to center my focus on healing and center my focus on nurturing my children. And so I could not really work a steady 9-to-5 job unless it was like a warehouse job for 4 hours a day, getting paid weekly, or if it was just something to keep income coming, so that the babies could be fed, and these my parents that were keeping them could have some give them something for watching the children. But I still had this unsettledness. And the culture or the environment that I was around, they were concerned and really cared for me. And so a lot of the conversation was on, hustling. Go out there and get that job, and go get that alimony or that child support, and all conversations are talking about, like, in so many words, I interpreted this: go break your back and go get what needs to get done. These children will be fine. You'll be fine. Save the children, but don't save you. And that is the type of um, mindset or environment that I was around. They weren't saying that verbatim, but that's just the reality. Survival mode. You is survival mode. And survival mode, what I've learned, I don't know about you, let me know, like survival mode can cause you to have a heart attack. Survival mode will have you exhausted and sick and not able to really take care of yourself. And the way I've watched how America really, the laws of the land, depending on the state and how things are governed, they are not the same across the board. Every state has its own laws, and it is not equal. It is not liberal. In some cases, when liberal as relates to the working mom who happens to be single, and don't get offended if I don't mention dads, because this is not about dads. This is about the mom, even though I love my men. I love the men. I love my Black men. I really do. But this is about the woman, the mom. And it's not a lot of laws that are willing to give parents a lot of funding if they have children that are on the spectrum or having challenges in school. And challenges not just behavior. You got to understand, let's break this down. So kids going to school, they're having emotional deregulation issues, and it's also interfering with the learning. And if a class teacher has 20 to 25 students and there's one teacher, they don't have enough teacher assistants, or there's not a strong counseling department along with I will say a interventionalist or specialist that is able to assist and work with the student that is having the anxiety, the meltdowns. It's going to be challenging for that student that has all of these different sensitivities due to their neurological state, and then on top of that, that teacher has to manage the classroom and also be able to recognize when students are needing additional support. And if there are already so many conquests that is required by the teacher, like making sure they hit a certain quota, a certain rating on their test scores, they're teaching a certain thing at a certain time, all of these things, they're not able to curtail the curriculum for that student that may be 2 grades behind, but extremely smart, but 2 grades behind due to their reading. Not because they're not intelligent, but they need that core 101. So you can imagine, as someone that's working education, and I want to bridge this together, so I hope I'm making sense. Someone that's working education and who is a mom and who's looking at my children and seeing that they need my attentiveness, and I want to work and I want to provide, but I also have to take care of my body. I also need to meet the obligations of the day and be concerned about my extended family and build my friendship community, like all of these things, and be accountable to various territories. Like, it can be weighty. And so if a state does not have funds to help facilitate that mom who is dealing with a child that is on the spectrum or has ADHD for a time, then income, it's going to be required of that mom to find ways where income and revenue can come into that household to keep things going. So, yes, I have just now, so let me bring you to now. I have, in the last 3 years, and shout out to Stephanie Perry, I want to say, no, I was introduced to Stephanie Perry in 2019. Yeah, 2019. And somehow, I want to say it was 2018, possibly 2019. I was introduced to Stephanie Perry 2019, probably into 2020. And her first video was about Black women needs to take a sabbatical, or Black women needs a sabbatical, something like that. And I thought when I first watched the video, here's this woman with natural hair and beautiful, but she was downright deliberate on her expression. And also that title may be different, but the video was focused on the Black woman needs a sabbatical. And that caught my eye because I was already in 2020, I was already on a sabbatical as relates to my profession as a minister, the minister. So serving dynamics of church planning and helping build out the business structure and the formation of churches and helping just the build out process with apostles and pastors with their ministry, and dynamics of when I say personal ministry, like my own ministry, building out that structure and ministry. I remember saying, no, I'm going to go on a sabbatical. I remember I said, no, it's time for me to go on a sabbatical for ministry, that career. And I went on a 2-year sabbatical, but really, you know what that sabbatical really was to be? It was the total woman sabbatical. It was the total woman sabbatical. It just wasn't a sabbatical from ministry, my 20 years of service. It wasn't just that. It was a call to rest from being not in my service of purpose, but as a Black woman. I needed a sabbatical as a Black mom. I needed a sabbatical because of the ups and downs of learning the systems on how to go in and out with legal matters to make sure my children's well-being was taken care of. I needed a sabbatical from parents, I would say, or relatives that had these expectations of me that I definitely could not meet given my capacity, who saw me in a certain light, but I could never reach that. I need a sabbatical from trying to reach their expectation. And it did not matter how much God I had and how much I knew spiritual things and aware and attuned to things and still able to regulate my mind in some territories. The reality is I was flunking in some areas because I needed a sabbatical. I needed a sabbatical from America. Not just a sabbatical from kingdom work and occupational work, as I was a project manager for a healthcare project analyst for a healthcare company before the pandemic, before things were shut down in March of 2020. Like, I needed a sabbatical, just period, to focus on me, to focus on ease, embracing ease, and connecting with my children. Now, somebody may be offended by this. I'm going to say connecting with my children, but I've always made efforts to connect with them. But I think more so to really connect with where I was in life as a woman. I am a nerd, and I have read that every 7 years, a woman's body changes. And after you have children, your body extremely changes. And after your body does not come into full place of back to not just shape, but back to alignment through your neurological system, your respiratory system, your nervous system. All of that does not fully come into back into alignment until 2 years. 2 years. Like, I just felt in my back, like where my epidural was, where I had an epidural. I just felt my muscle move in that area. My our last baby, my last baby is 2 years old. And yeah, I am finally feeling that, oh, I'm back. Now there is a back after I had my son, after 8 years, 7 years, well, the kids, the twins are 9. So 7 years of not having children, after you have the baby, and like I felt like, ooh, after the 3rd month, I was like, oh, okay. But I wasn't back to quote unquote normal. This 2-year mark is really true. The woman's body goes through so much changes. And so even though us ladies, they say women are the backbone to society. Women, and a Black woman by that. Women are the pillars that help a man, and that all of these, and that's wonderful. But if that woman has had a baby, and if that woman is also working and has to be back on the clock in 3 months, sometimes 2 months, and not giving a full year, or at least a full year to restore herself and her body and get the nutrients she needs to sustain herself, she may be strong and resilient, and that's great. I don't care. It doesn't matter how her makeup is. It doesn't matter what's in her DNA that may cause her to be able to heal quicker than the next woman. It's not a comparison thing. It's a reality that the body is gone through major trauma after having a baby. And then to get back on the workforce, and then to get back into an environment that probably is not paying enough. So yeah, that's a lot. So yeah, I just had to come to a reality check that, Jazz, you are not in your 20s. No. You're not in your teens, and you are not on the same path you were in your 20s or in your teens, or even your early 30s. You're in a different space, and you are learning little personalities that also you have the blessed assurance to train them in their gifts and talents that you see. But if you are not taking care of you, and if you don't have the income you need, and if you're not able to de-stress yourself, you're gonna hit a brick wall. And truth of the matter, I hit a brick wall. I hit a brick wall. And yeah, I hit a brick wall. All right, ladies, that's all I'm going to share with you right now. Yeah, I hit a brick wall. I'm going back to that because the title of this is Black Woman, Take the Shortcut. Let me just say this. You have permission to take the shortcut. You have the permission to take the shortcut. It doesn't matter what people say. Don't take the shortcut. No, take the shortcut. The shortcut is the narrow way. I know that don't make sense, but the shortcut is a narrow way because it requires you to tap into the authentic person of you and create a pathway. And to walk, sometimes it's not about creating, because that's a hard lot of work too. Sometimes it's already discovering the pathway that someone has already walked in and take that shortcut. And I could go deeper, but I won't. I could go deeper, but I won't. I'll never forget. I will say this though. The reason why you see the topic, Black Woman Take the Shortcut, I was in fifth grade. And I never forget my teacher, Miss Williams. Miss Williams had us to take like a quiz, or we had an assignment we had to get done. Now, mind you, we did not have AI, we did not have those things, but we did have like calculators. But for whatever the assignment was, she graded my work and she said, Jasmine, don't take shortcuts. But I still was given, I still completed the assignment, and I still answered it the way that had to be answered. Now, I understood at that time that she was saying that because the problem, whatever the problem was I was to solve, instead of doing it the way she taught us, my brain was like, the way she's teaching me is challenging. I don't understand it. But the way my brain was rewiring itself to do it made sense, and it relaxed my brain, and I had the answer. And when I did it the format, I can't remember what it was. Whatever way it was done, I still got the same answer. And I was able to articulate that to her. But she put on my paperwork, Jazz, good job, but don't take shortcuts. And it stuck with me. And I don't know why it resonated with me. And it even now at almost 40 years old, at 39, I'll be 39 this year. It stuck with me so long until I began to see that taking shortcuts does not mean that you are lazy, and taking the shortcut does not mean that you have not done your research, you're not aware, and that you are really trying to be rebel. Taking the shortcut means I'm just going to embrace ease. I am going to go in the flow and the dynamic, which makes my life a little bit easier. It may not make your life easier. It may not make sense to you, but I'm going to take this shortcut, because guess what? These other people that live in America who are not my color, they can be mediocre and still rise up to the top. But I have to work 10 times hard doing the same thing that they're doing and show proof that I am smart and capable, and still not get the income, the reward that is truly to be granted to everyone. But because of my skin color, it's still not enough. Just because I took the long route, I carried people across, I'm helping doing all of this, but just because I didn't learn from, just because it is in us to be able to take on more as Black women. Take on more. That makes you look like you're powerful. Oh no. No. I'm powerful because I am. I'm worthy because I am. I'm taking the shortcut because my brain says you're smart and this makes sense to do it this way. Didn't I get the answer correct? I did. I may have gotten it faster than the other person or slower. However way, time does not depict that all the way. My brain said, we got time for this though, for you to do these numbers like this and take this shortcut. Could I really say time depicts that? Let's just say I was on time. So however way I was going to get that answer was still on time. So Black woman, I want to encourage you to take the shortcut. Make life a little easier for you. And making life easier for you may mean that you have to get creative and connect to community and resources that will allow you to embrace ease by learning how to tap into your creativity, tap into your amazing gifts and talents, but tapping into the strength that lies on the inside of you. You know, tap on the thing that motivates you. It doesn't matter if I do teaching or if I'm in real estate. Excuse me, guys, something's in my eye. There is always this thing in me that says, that really inspires me, that says, create a river. Jump in the river. Flow in the river. And what that means to me is basically tap into my gifts and talents. I like talking and I like storytelling because it allows me to think through things, but I also like sharing things that help me make my life easier, in which you're going to discover. You're going to discover some more links that are going to help make your life easier. So guys, these lashes are really doing its thing, but shout out to the lashes. But yeah, take the shortcut, Black women. Take the shortcut. Now, when I say shortcut though, I'm not saying not have integrity and not have some dignity and respect about who you are and who you're when you're interacting with other people. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. Like, no, we're gonna have some accountability, integrity, and respect, but there's a way to take a shortcut, get things done easier, embrace ease, and have less wrinkles. And be okay with it. Be okay with the shortcut. I thought I heard my baby. Be okay with taking the shortcut, because your life is going to be easier. You won't be as stressed out. Your kids will feel a little bit better. And we're going to navigate on what that looks like. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and learning about me. And I want to learn more about you. So be sure to connect with the links down below. We're going to be putting going to be doing some incredible things. But in the meantime, be sure to turn your notification bell on, like, of course, and subscribe. And comment below, like, what are some ways that you have taken shortcuts and it's allowed and really helped to make your life so much easier living, especially, you know, as a Black woman living in America, and also as a novice mom who happens to be single, first time mom happens to be single. Yes, embrace now. Take the shortcut, baby. All right, guys, take care. Until the next video. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.